It's the opening night and they're lighting the lights. The orchestra is tuning to make sure they sound right. It's time to start our show tonight.
Hi, I'm Trev Fleming.
I'm Rosie Wilkinson.
Today was a sort of sample workshop of improvisation hosted by ourselves for, I think it was a mix of sixth form and GCSE students here at Broad Green School, and it seemed to go rather well.
Oh, it was quite good fun.
It was nice.
I'm Ellie Burns.
I'm Owen Andrews. I'm Michael Garnett.
I'm Erin Dunn.
We've done some work with this school before. We've been in and done a few workshops with them. We're working on a new project with this school and another high school across the water. And when we needed somewhere to come in and do a workshop too, they really enjoyed having us in.
Yeah.
And we really enjoyed coming here because there was a great group of kids in here.
What made you want to come to this then?
It was a good opportunity.
Well, I've been told about it and I really like improvisation. I think it's a really good skill to have.
We came in before as well and done another workshop and we enjoyed that. I thought we got a lot of drama skills out of it, so why not come along for another one?
For me, I've done this before as well, and I found it really did help me with my drama and my theatre skills as well. And when my teacher told me that it was back on, I had to come back.
We are doing a show at the Unity next year that involves 2 high schools. We're currently going through all the funding proposals, bids, all of that stuff to try and get the money to pay us to go and do that. But the show will happen regardless, and this will be one of the schools that we're working with to do that project.
And it's sort of like a pilot study, so if that goes well, then hopefully we can expand it to increase more schools and hopefully across the region. Mm-hmm. That's the plan.
At the moment it's just the 2 schools, just focusing on the 2, just making sure we know what we're doing, that they enjoy it, get what we can out of this one, and then hopefully building it up.
We've worked in other schools in the past, but
yeah.
for this particular project, it's these 2 schools who we've worked with the most over the last year and a half or so.
Yeah. 2 years.
Yeah, something like that. So we've built up a rapport with these 2 schools, and they know us and we know them, so it's really helpful.
It's made me a bit more confident, because I remember I used to be a bit more timid and back and stuff like this. Whereas this, you come out, you open up, it's you're doing your own stuff. You feel comfortable with what you're doing as well. And the skills you learn as well also make you a bit more confident when you're actually doing performances in front of audiences and stuff like that.
Because even though it's fun and you play silly games, it helps you with scenes, like characterisation and other stuff like that you use with scenes that are in place.
It sort of brings you out of your shell a bit as well. And you really need that as well when you're performing in front of certain people. Especially in front of a class, you sort of feel like a family, but then when the class goes out and does something in front of people that you don't know, you're sort of out of that family and you need something, a sort of a thing to fall back on. And I think the improvisation really helps with that as well.
And it can build up on your imaginative skills, so coming up with things on the spot as well. So it all helps with the drama through and out.
Sometimes the kids, they're a bit more open in certain ways and a bit more reticent in other ways, and vice versa with the adults. And obviously there's a certain level of behaviour that as a workshop facilitator you have to abide by in school, the school environment. Language, for one, you have to be, what language you get away with in an adult workshop, maybe not the most professional to have in a school's environment. I think the energy is still the same, be open, be free, just give lots of energy and support to everyone who's there.
Often with particularly when you're talking teenagers, there's that real I can't look silly, I can't do anything else, that person's going to judge me if I do it. So we try and sort of create that atmosphere more so in the schools workshops and the public ones. People are choosing to come to the public workshops, the schools don't get as much choice, let's say.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just trying to get over that barrier of I'm going to look daft, which usually means we make an effort to look even dafter than we normally would.
Yeah.
So we set the standard and they can go somewhere underneath that.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's it's where you come up with it yourself on the spot, where you don't have to follow a script or what you're told. You can make the story up as you go along. So,
Yeah, and the lovely people welcoming. You feel like a little family when you're doing the workshop. everyone's just comfortable with each other.
There is so many reports, studies that show how beneficial improv is for more than just drama. So in terms of communication skills, social skills,
self-confidence, presentation skills, stuff that's transferable in the workplace and just in everyday life, just makes you more acceptable to any situation that might arise.
And the ability to find fun in a situation and play, we kind of get that trained out of us as we get older, and playing is so important. There's all sorts of studies that say it stops you getting scared of things and stuff like that. So just to try and give them something else that they can use as building tools for further life.
For further life. That's the ability to not take yourself too seriously, because we all know some people who take themselves very seriously indeed, and they're not, they're just the people in the office that no one likes. Whereas if you're open, you're accepting, and you can joke about but still get the job done, then that's a good combination.
It's really nice with this group as well, because there obviously is a few that do want to go on and do something that is more related to drama, and improv is being more and more used in theatre schools, in drama schools, in performance. So it's kind of let them know it exists early on, and we can create this whole new generation of improvisers to take over from us when we get too old.
Impropriety is an improvisation theatre company. We do primarily comedy, but we do have some serious bits. We do long form and short form comedy. This was one of our, what we call our public improv jams, where people come along and in a nicely relaxed environment get to try out improv. Some people find it's for them. If it's not for you, then that's all fine. It's a low pressure environment.
People, because it isn't like a strict teaching environment, we do just come to play. So we share what we do and we explain why we're doing it. But we have people that come back every week. We have people that just dip in and out. We have new people every week. And it's just a really safe and really lovely environment just to play.
It's kind of terrifying, so I know. But I was just expecting to laugh and have fun, and it's kind of what we did.
Yeah, pretty much the same as in a drama society. A lot of fun, laughs.
Feel a lot more confident in talking just to any old person. A lot of the work that I do involves talking to people that I don't know or will probably never see again. So it's nice to be confident enough to pay attention to what they have to say and be confident enough in just general life, really.
Yeah, when we first started this session, if you want to call it that, it was a bit weird. Like you walk into this total strange room, you don't know what to expect, and you're not that many people either. So it's quite terrifying. It's really cool in an exciting way, I guess.
Well, I love improv because it really gets out the child in you. You get to play again and be completely and surprise yourself. That's the best part when you're so in it. You just completely say something and you're like, whoa, that was me. It's so good to just work with your spontaneity and play.
I was more nervous coming in because I haven't been here before, and then I'm really happy how it turned out. So I really enjoyed it.
It's so important to be able to kind of listen to your partner and work with what you get, and spontaneity and being just play. I
think my favorite one was probably, I can't remember the name of it, or when you tapped someone, everyone was doing scenes and you tapped someone and then you switched places with them. I don't remember.
Tagging a scene one, I don't remember, I can't think of the name.
Tag, maybe it's probably called Tag, that was fun.
My favourite game is New Choice. That's one of my favourite ones. It's where you start off a scene and then you get told new choice by an observer, and then you have to come up with a completely different line. Actually, you get to a point where you can't think of anything. It forces you not to think, and then you go, I'm going to need a ginger nut biscuit. So it's really good. I like that one.
I really liked the one where we were in the square and you had to just swap all the time, and the scene kind of evolved for every step, so you just had to make it grow bigger.
Escalate, and then you're just like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, and you get so confused when I go like, right, left, right.
On the 3rd of December, we've got kind of a very special gig for us because the Casimir is closing, and it was where Impropriety were kind of born, and that closes at New Year. So we have on the 3rd of December our farewell gig in the Casimir that we're trying to bring lots of our friends who have improvised with us over the years who live elsewhere now. We're trying to kind of have a little reunion.
How can people find out more information about it?
www.impropriety.co.uk. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. If you just type in improv Liverpool, we should come up.
Yeah, Impropriety Liverpool, and we pop up.
How did you get involved in this project from the very beginning?
Usual way actors get jobs through my agent. She told me about this play, that it would be a two-hand with Cathy Tyson, and already I was like, well, because showing my age here, but I kind of recognised Cathy from, of course, Mona Lisa Smile and Band of Gold, which I used to love when I was a kid, so auditioned for it, got recalled. Didn't think I had got it because I didn't hear for a little while, but then found out I got the job and couldn't wait to get stuck in. And then you get stuck in and you're like, oh, this play's quite epic.
The day we became friends, I was at school and I was having a fight in the school playground, and I lost. I mean, it wasn't a very heavy one, but and then Michelle became my friend on that day, I can remember.
So what scene was it that for the audition? What did you read for the audition?
I don't know if you know this, but it had started as like a one-woman play originally, so Shirley hadn't really been created as much yet. So the scene at the end in Act 3 hadn't even been written, and what they had was just a few snippets of monologue. I don't know if they had more than that just yet, but that's all I was given, was just her bits of monologue, which we kind of call like Act 2, where they kind of swap between the two women. So I read a couple of those, and already, I don't know, there was just, for someone like me being sort of not quite your early 20s, but there wasn't roles like it, so it was just such a brilliant opportunity, and loved it just from reading these sort of like small snippets of monologue. But that's all I had to sort of audition with, and that's all I really knew about it. When I went into the audition, they told me more about how they wanted the journey to sort of go, but I kind of like wanted to do a play that I had never even read yet, so yeah. And I kind of got the finalised play maybe 2 weeks or a week and a half before we started. So yeah, and then we had 3 weeks rehearsal.
You know, and she was great, and she lived in Speke, and I used to get on a bus all the way to Speke and back.
Just think, I did that every day to go to school.
I know, she's got a lot of stamina, this writer from Liverpool.
So did you put some input into the script as well? Did they?
I don't think so. I mean, Michelle said to me they made little changes, like with the black eyes and the short hair and things like that, so she wrote those sorts of things in. But apart from that, I don't think anything was kind of like, I didn't have any input in terms of anything being said. I wish I could take some kudos for that, but no, that's all Michelle.
Anyhow, I write in a letter to Mr. Tony. You know him? Mr. Tony, he the Prime Minister. Joseph keep telling me he not the Prime Minister no more. He say name sounds something like Camera Running.
Well, I sent you the play. We're still not quite sure about when, but I think it was 2012, around then. We'll say 2012. And Cathy read it and liked it, but at that time you were studying, and after that she read it and said, let's do something with this.
But Michelle, we had something from Tara Arts come through on an email, and I sent that through to Michelle, and it was all about an application to get some funding for a thing to put on a production, and I'd always remembered Michelle's piece. I'm so happy we're doing it. It's such a joy to do, even though it's quite tragic in certain places. And we applied for that. And got through to the second stage, and they were so kind, weren't they, in the application, because we were completely new to this. And somebody from Cardboard Citizens helped us out as well. Adrian had read the piece, remember? He read it twice, and he said, she's got a voice, I like that. And we just had so, much encouragement. Because people who don't fill in forms, Michelle's had a lot of experience of doing that, in the work she's done, but just these things, they can seem insurmountable. Application forms for funding, but this wasn't. It was only 7 pages, wasn't it? It was really good.
I remember her being beautiful. She was everything to me, everything. She'd take me to the park. In the sandpit, she'd take off her shoes and kneel down next to me, and we'd build sandcastles together. I'd always end up smashing them, of course, but she'd just laugh. A real laugh, the kind that made her belly shake. The first time I felt the cold sand on my feet, I cried. She laughed and said, but how could you cry at the sand touching your feet? You a Trinity girl, and we Trinity girls smile when the sand touch your feet.
When you read the full script for the first time, what was that like reading it?
My first thought was, how the hell am I going to learn all of this? And then it was, again, like, I thought it was a good role before, and then you see the whole play, and it was like, what an opportunity. And I'd done lots of other work, but nothing where you could get your teeth stuck into something, really have a character development and make someone come off the page like this opportunity here. So it was excitement, but a little bit of fear, because like I said, we only had about 3 weeks rehearsal, so it was like a lot to do in that time.
I write in a letter to Mr. Tony, because he the big cheese and he have all the money. I asked Mr. Tony if he could see a way to giving me my fare back home. I tell Mr. Tony all about when I was a girl, and how my mother and I would spend one Sunday a month at the beach in Maracas Bay.
What made you want to write about a homeless woman in the train station?
It came from a homeless woman that was actually in London Bridge Station, and I was actually going to see my mum, who'd had a stroke, and I was travelling to Sydenham, and the day that I spoke to her, I called her mother, unwittingly called her mother. I meant to call her auntie, because that's a mark of respect of the elders in the Afro-Caribbean community. But I did. Mother came out, probably because I was thinking about my own mum so much, and she smiled, her face lit up. And then every time I went past, through London Bridge and spoke to her, she always wanted to give me something, a box of sweets or something like that, and she'd always have a chat with me. And she knew Mum wasn't well, and then after Mum passed away, and I was on my way to the chapel arrest, and I told her, and she went on a trolley and gave me change and said, buy flowers for your mum. So I bought a white rose. There's a flower stall underneath the arches in London Bridge Station. There was a flower stall, and I bought a rose. I had a single drop of water on one of the petals, and it was like January, it was freezing cold and blustery, and I put it underneath my coat to protect it. And then when I got to the chapel arrest, the drop of water was still there. And it just made me think, why was this woman there, an elderly Afro-Caribbean woman, homeless? And from there, I imagined this character and this person's life. And I gave her this difficult life, because I can't imagine an elderly woman, why would she be homeless? Has to be something quite drastic or big behind for her to motivate her to be in this position.
Michelle's writing is so fluid. It's very conversational. So it's actually much easier, knocking on some wood, that's not wood, than you would think to remember it, because it was just like a conversation. So it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I loved her once. I suppose I could love her again. I'm not even telling the truth. I've never stopped loving her. But sometimes I wished she was dead. I wished he was dead. I wished I was dead. It's true, I did. But that sounds bad, doesn't it?
Were you expecting to go nationwide, or were you going to just stay in London? Or
No, part of the application was for it to, there's 8 theatres in the consortium for Black Theatre Live, so we knew it was going to go north. And then we got other theatres on board as well, so we extended it from 8 to, how many is it
It's
now?
15 or 16. We've got one next year as well.
Yeah, back in London.
I tell Mr. Tony how I fed up at this cold, wretched country.
She left me, turned her back on me, but she never turned her back on him. Oh, the good Lord. She still had eyes for them. For me, I think the thing I like about it is that maybe there's lots of things that anybody can relate to, you know. God forbid those poor people, if they can relate to it in more of a personal way in terms of the domestic abuse or the child abuse and stuff like that. But there's other things that people can kind of relate to in the play, and I know I really did. So it was just about trying to do all of those topics justice.